Welcome gamers to today's video where I will try to cover everything that we know about playable character races and the World of Ashes creation is building. As mentioned in every developer update video, everything that we see today is still a work in progress and is subject to change or improve as Ashes of Creation is still heading into their Alpha 2 phase. First off, let's take a look at the 9 playable character races Ashes has to offer. Here is the standard Kalar human race that we are used to seeing in most MMOs. The Kalar are home to the Riverlands, which is the biome we have been seeing in most developer update videos. Next, we have the Valoon. The Valoon are the second human race that differ from the Kalar by having a Jinn influence in their lineage, leading to their genie-like appearance. Here we have the first of the 2 dwarf races, the Dunir, which appear as your classic dwarf that call the mountains their home. The second dwarf race is the Nakua, which originally had a more halfling-like appearance, but the developers made the decision to switch their appearance to have this more Polynesian-like influence. So all races that we see today are not final and could be different by the time of launch. Now, let's take a look at the orc races. First, we have the Renkai. The Renkai have a more standard orc or ogre-like appearance. They will be the tallest race in Ashes of Creation. The Vek are the next orc race that appear more goblin-like than orc. The Vek are known to be stargazers and astrologers, which makes sense for this Vek's very large pupils, allowing for their vision to be enhanced while staring at the night's constellations. The last of the races we have are the Talner. The Talner are a mix of all the 4 major races and some minor races that escape to the Underrealm during the time of the apocalypse. This class seems to be highly customizable with the base influence of one of 3 types, which are what we see here. Humanoid on the left, beast-like or mammal in the middle, or reptilian that we see on the far right. Now let's take a look at the general world. Ashes of Creation will take place in a world called Verra, and the map will stretch across a total of 1,200 square kilometers of land and sea, including 2 main continents, Vandagar and Illyrium, 2 main islands, Sajoma, the land of the Cyclops, and Pelagora, 1 smaller island called Dracoth Bor. The main focus for the content in Alpha 2 will take place in the Riverlands, as this is the location that we see in most developer update videos. It has been stated that the travel time between the top of just one continent to the bottom will take about 50 minutes while mounted and about 75 minutes while not mounted. So when you take into account the other continent and the 3 islands, as well as the even larger surface area of the open seas, Ashes of Creation have truly put an emphasis on massive when creating their massively multiplayer online role-playing game. We also got a sneak peek at what the in-game map will look like in Ashes of Creation's most recent Commissions developer update video. Now let's take a look at the open water. We know that all open water will automatically be flagged as PvP zones, which leads me into the 4 main bodies of water. The Umbral Sea, just south of Dracoth Bor, the Tradewind Sea, where intercontinental trade will take place between nodes, the Averic Ocean, and the Fortunic Ocean. The latter 2 oceans of Averic and Fortunic derive from the words fortune and avarice, both meaning some sort of wealth or greed, so I imagine some end-game content will take place in these PvP zones where players can find high-level raid bosses, legendary equipment, and even legendary crafting materials. The massive map that we have just seen is not even all that Ashes of Creation has to offer. We will also be seeing the Underrealm, the home of the Talner, which will roughly be about 100 square kilometers. It will contain some nodes for the potential of having an underground level 6 metropolis that can influence the appearance of the world above. The Underrealm will also have points of access from the surface at geographical choke points, which will allow alternate trade routes in particularly dangerous areas. Ashes of Creation is making an environment-rich world, exposing us to a multitude of unique biomes. In Alpha 1, we got to take a look at their tropic biome. In 2022, we got a preview of their desert biome planned for Alpha 2. In almost every developer update video, we have seen the Riverlands, which I mentioned before, will be the main focus for Alpha 2. We even got a peek at corrupted zones in their Artisan livestream. The forest biome is also planned for Alpha 2. There are several other unique environments planned for Ashes that we may not see until beta or possibly even launch. Dynamic seasons is something we will also experience in Ashes of Creation, and they will affect each biome differently. Seasons will take about 1 to 2 weeks, with the active transition period between seasons taking a few hours. The duration of a season can be influenced by the actions of the players in game, like dealing or not dealing with an external threat that brought along weather changes when it appeared. Steven Sharif, the creative director of Intrepid Studios, used the existence of a dragon as an example that may influence the season in a specific area. We also saw in-game footage of a player-driven event that spawned a Stormcaller mini-boss who brought along a lasting rain and interactable lightning strike, which in return spawned an NPC delivering a quest about the unusually long-lasting rain, resulting in a cascade of new content for players to explore. These dynamic seasons and different types of weather will have an influence on what content is accessible to the players. Different seasons will affect the growth of crops. Winter may freeze lakes and block access to what lies below. A rainstorm may enhance a player's lightning ability. Specific resources may only be gatherable in certain seasons. Harsh weather conditions may cause difficult terrain or block roads and make alternate routes through the Underrealm more viable. Needless to say, the dynamic season and weather system will play a large role in how players will interact with the world. Seasons will be a big focus in Alpha 2, testing and how it affects global economy, resource rotation, and transit of goods between nodes. In addition to seasons, there will also be a day and night cycle that occur over the course of a few hours. We can see multiple moons in the sky, one of which is destroyed. We can also see constellations in the sky, which will play a role in story and narrative-related content. These moons and stars are just as alive as the surface of Verra, where they will rotate and change location based off the time. Certain constellations may only be seen at specific times or locations, and just like with seasons, there will be certain gatherable materials that are only available at nighttime. This concludes my video on everything that we know about playable character races and the world of Verra. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about the artistic design of the races, and if the dynamic seasons with its impact on in-game content is a system that is appealing to you. Thanks for stopping by.